In an era dominated by smartphones, our personal devices have become extensions of ourselves, housing a treasure trove of sensitive information. While the benefits of staying connected and informed are undeniable, the dark side of this digital age has seen a rise in cell phone tracking and targeting by both criminals and nefarious governments. This brief overview explores the threats posed by these entities and offers insights into how individuals can protect themselves. Criminal exploitation. Criminals use various methods to track locations using cell phones. It's essential to be aware of these techniques to protect your privacy and security, especially while you are traveling in high-risk locations. Here are some specific ways criminals may track locations. Malicious apps. Criminals create or distribute apps that appear harmless but contain hidden tracking features. When you download and install these apps, they can access your phone's GPS data and send it to a remote server controlled by the attacker. To avoid this, only download apps from reputable sources like official app stores and review app permissions before installation. Spyware and stalkerware. Some criminals use spyware or stalkerware apps to track victims' locations discreetly. These apps are often disguised as legitimate applications and can be installed on the target's device either physically or through phishing techniques. Once installed, they can continuously monitor GPS data and send it to the attacker. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth tracking. Criminals can exploit vulnerabilities in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connections to track a cell phone's location. If your phone's Wi-Fi or Bluetooth is turned on, it may broadcast unique identifiers that malicious actors can intercept and use to determine your whereabouts. Phishing. Criminals may send phishing messages with links or attachments that, when clicked, install malware on your device. This malware can include location tracking features, allowing the attacker to monitor your movements remotely. SIM card cloning. In some cases, criminals clone a cell phone SIM card. This process involves duplicating the SIM card's information onto another card, allowing them to impersonate the victim's phone and access location data. Protect your SIM card by keeping it secure and reporting any unusual activity to your mobile carrier. Cell tower spoofing. Criminals with the technical expertise can use cell tower spoofing devices to create fake cell towers that trick nearby phones into connecting to them. Once connected, the attacker can intercept communications and track the phone's location. This method is more advanced and typically associated with more sophisticated criminal operations. Social engineering. Criminals may use social engineering techniques to obtain location information from victims directly. They could impersonate someone the victim trusts or manipulate them into sharing their location unknowingly. Publicly available information. Criminals may also exploit publicly available information on social media or other online platforms. People often share their locations, travel plans, and activities, providing criminals with readily accessible information. To protect yourself from location tracking by criminals, keep your device's operating system and applications updated with security patches for known vulnerabilities. Regularly review and manage app permissions to limit access to your location data. Avoid downloading apps from untrusted sources and be cautious with app permissions. Enable security features like two-factor authentication to protect your accounts from unauthorized access. Use strong, unique passwords for your device and online accounts. Be cautious with unsolicited messages or emails and avoid clicking on suspicious links or downloading attachments from unknown sources. Turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth when not in use in order to minimize the risk of location tracking via these methods. This also saves your device's battery power. Consider using a reputable security app or anti-malware software to detect and remove potential threats. Government tracking. Government entities, particularly those with questionable motives or human rights violations, may employ various methods to track cell phone locations. These methods often involve exploiting technical capabilities, legal loopholes, and surveillance infrastructure. Here are some specific ways such entities might track cell phone locations. Mobile network surveillance. Governments can access data from cell towers to determine the approximate location of a cell phone. Each time a phone connects to a tower, its location is recorded. By analyzing the towers a phone connects to and the signal strength, authorities can triangulate the device's position. International Mobile Equipment Identity Tracking. The International Mobile Equipment Identity is a unique identifier for each mobile device. Governments can compel mobile carriers to provide data, allowing them to track the device's movements. Depending on the government jurisdiction you are under, the mobile carrier may be fully or partially owned by the government. Forced GPS activation. Some governments have the capability to remotely activate a cell phone's GPS chip without the user's knowledge or consent. This allows them to track the device's precise location. This is a highly sophisticated capability, and typically the target is already on the government's radar. Mandatory location-based services. In some cases, governments may require mobile service providers to offer location-based services that continuously track users' locations. These services can be exploited for surveillance purposes. State-sponsored spyware. Some governments develop or purchase sophisticated spyware tools that can be covertly installed on a target's device. These spyware programs can access GPS data, call logs, messages, and more, sending the information back to government servers where they use the data to develop patterns of life on a target. Zero-day exploits. Governments may use zero-day or unpatched software vulnerabilities to infect devices with malware. Once compromised, the device can be tracked and monitored without the user's or provider's knowledge. Legally mandated tracking. In some countries, governments have enacted laws that require mobile carriers to facilitate surveillance activities. This may include providing real-time location tracking data to law enforcement agencies upon request. Even in the United States, a warrant may not be required to obtain this data from the carrier. The carrier can voluntarily provide the information if they feel compelled to do so. Data collection. Governments may gather data from various sources, such as social media, public records, and online platforms, to piece together an individual's location history. This can be used for tracking and interception purposes. Social engineering. Authorities may use tactics to manipulate individuals into revealing their location, often by posing as a trusted entity or using psychological pressure. Deep packet inspection. Some governments employ DPI technology to monitor internet traffic, including mobile data. This can help them identify patterns or locations associated with specific users. To protect against government tracking, use encryption tools like end-to-end encrypted messaging apps. Consider using a VPN to mask your IP address and encrypt your internet traffic. Be cautious with sharing sensitive information online and on social media. Stay informed about your legal rights and privacy laws in your destination country. Protecting yourself from government tracking can be challenging, especially in regions with limited digital privacy protections. Staying informed and taking precautions to safeguard your digital presence is crucial in such environments. In an increasingly digital world, the risks associated with cell phone tracking and targeting are real and pressing. Criminals and nefarious governments continue to find innovative ways to exploit these technologies, threatening our privacy and security. However, by taking proactive steps to protect our devices and personal information, we can mitigate these risks and maintain control over our digital lives. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and prioritize your digital security in this interconnected age.